Tributes are pouring in tonight for the actor Patrick Swayze. He died at the age of 57.
Even after all these years, Patrick Swayze's name still brings a wave of emotions. He wasn't just a movie star, he was a fighter behind the scenes too. From breathtaking dance moves to heartbreaking personal battles, Patrick carried secrets that few ever knew. Now, at 62, his widow has finally opened up about one private truth he never shared with the world. It's something that stayed hidden until long after his final goodbye. Today, we're diving deep into a story that's as tender as it is surprising. Join us as we uncover Patrick Swayze's journey, his time in Hollywood, his personal life, as well as what his widow has finally revealed. A boy raised in dance and discipline, Patrick Wayne Swayze was born on August 18, 1952 in Houston, Texas. He was the second child in a big family. His mother, Patsy, was a well-known dancer and choreographer. His father, Jesse Wayne, worked as an engineering draftsman. Patrick grew up with an older sister, Vicky, two younger brothers, Don and Sean, and an adopted sister named Bambi. Patrick's family history was full of interesting stories. His ancestor, John Swayze, came to America from England during the Puritan migration in the 1600s. Over time, the family name changed to Swayze. Even Patrick's uncle, Bruce Swayze, made a name for himself as a professional wrestler. Life at home was not always easy. Patrick's mother, Patsy, was strict and could be very harsh. She pushed Patrick hard, especially when it came to dancing. Many people would even call her behavior abusive. Patrick's wife, Lisa Niemi, once said, "Patsy could be extremely critical and negative, but she figured out that if she was going to be around us, she needed to be a little nicer." In fact, when Patrick was young, he sometimes faced physical punishment from his mother. Things changed on his 18th birthday when his father stepped in. Jesse told Patsy that if she ever hit Patrick again, he would leave her. From that day forward, the violence stopped. Lisa Niemi later shared that Patsy's behavior came from her own painful childhood. She said, "She could be very violent, but it was nothing compared to what she endured growing up." Even though the relationship was complicated, Patrick stayed close to his mother all his life, but they never openly talked about the tough times. And Patrick, despite it all, carried the lessons of hard work and discipline deep inside him. But childhood wasn't the only challenge he faced. His dreams for the future were about to take a big turn. Dreams of the football field. As a kid growing up in the Oak Forest neighborhood of Houston, Patrick wore many hats. He went to Catholic school, attended Oak Forest Elementary, then Black Middle School, and finally, Waltrip High School. While he always had a love for dance, he was also a talented athlete. Patrick's dream back then wasn't to be a movie star or a famous dancer. It was to become a football player. He loved the sport and hoped to earn a college scholarship through his skills. Patrick worked hard and had real potential. If things had gone as planned, he could have ended up like other stars who played football in college, like Dwayne Johnson or Channing Tatum, but fate had a different plan. During his senior year of high school, disaster struck. In his second-to-last game of the season, Patrick suffered a terrible knee injury. It was bad enough to end his football dreams for good. The injury was heartbreaking. But Patrick didn't give up. Instead, he poured his energy into other passions, ballet and gymnastics. These not only helped him heal, but gave him a whole new vision for his life. He set his sights on a new dream, to become a professional ballet dancer. For a while, it seemed like this would be his new future, but once again, his body would challenge him. After finishing high school, Patrick decided to chase his ballet dreams with everything he had. In 1972, he moved to New York City. He trained at two of the best places for dancers, the Harkness Ballet and Joffrey Ballet schools. He worked hard and impressed many people. In fact, the famous choreographer Elliot Feld had even planned a special ballet performance starring Patrick and the great Mikhail Baryshnikov. It could have been a huge moment for Patrick's dance career. But sadly, it never happened. Patrick's knee gave out again and he had to undergo reconstruction surgery. The injury crushed his hopes of making it big as a professional dancer. Once again, Patrick found himself at a crossroads. Still, Patrick wasn't someone who stayed down for long. With dancing no longer an option, he looked for a new way to express himself. That's when he turned toward acting, a decision that would change his life forever. Before long, Patrick was taking his first steps into the entertainment world. Patrick's first professional job was a dancing role in a show called Disney on Parade. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a start. Soon after, he made a bigger move, landing the role of Danny Zuko in a Broadway production of Grease. From there, things started rolling. In 1979, Patrick made his film debut in Skate Town, USA. The movie may not have been a blockbuster, but it got his foot in the door. Around this time, he also appeared in a disco-themed commercial for Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, truly capturing the spirit of the disco era. In 1981, Patrick popped up on TV screens in an episode of M.S. He played Private Sturgis, a young soldier found to be terminally ill. That same year, he starred alongside Barbara Eden in the TV movie Return of the Rebels. By 1983, Patrick's star was slowly rising. He played a tough character in the film The Outsiders, alongside future legends like Tom Cruise and Rob Lowe. He followed that with the action-packed Red Dawn in 1984 and the historical drama North and South between 1985 and 1986. Each role showed a different side of him: tough, sensitive, heroic. But the real breakthrough was just around the corner, and it would make Patrick Swayze a household name, becoming a legend. In 1987, Patrick Swayze's life changed forever. He starred in Dirty Dancing as Johnny Castle, the smooth rebellious dance instructor. The movie was a smash hit, and so was Patrick. His performance earned him a Golden Globe nomination and turned him into a global heartthrob. He didn't stop there. In 1989, Patrick showed off his tough side in Roadhouse, playing a bouncer with a strong sense of justice. A year later, he starred in Ghost, one of the most beloved romantic films of all time. Patrick's role as the ghostly Sam Wheat earned him another Golden Globe nomination. And he wasn't just acting. Patrick also co-wrote and sang She's Like the Wind for the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. The song became a massive hit, reaching number 3 on the Billboard charts. In 1991, he showed he could handle action too, starring in Point Break alongside Keanu Reeves, and in 1995, he surprised audiences by playing a drag queen in To Wong Foo. Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. His performance was so good that it earned him yet another Golden Globe nomination. Patrick Swayze wasn't just a talented actor and dancer, he became a cultural icon. In 1991, People magazine even named him the sexiest man alive. Through all the ups and downs, injuries and heartbreaks, Patrick never stopped pushing forward. But behind the fame and the spotlight, Patrick's real strength came from something much deeper: the love and support he found at home. It all began years before he became a star, in a small dance studio, where fate brought him and Lisa Niemi together. A love story that started in a dance studio. Patrick Swayze met the love of his life, Lisa Niemi, when he was just 18 years old. Lisa was only 14 at the time and taking dance lessons at Patrick's mother's studio. Their first meeting wasn't exactly picture perfect. Lisa once said, "Had a little contentious start because he had a kind of reputation as a Casanova. I had a reputation as a bad girl, and we were supposed to stay away from each other." But sometimes, destiny has its own plans. Lisa shared on the Amy and TJ podcast that she felt something special from the beginning. "I knew that something was going to happen between us that was significant," she said. After finishing high school, Patrick moved to New York City to chase his dreams, and Lisa soon followed after her graduation. Both of them earned spots at the famous Joffrey Ballet. Their bond only grew stronger with time. In 1975, when Lisa was 19 and Patrick was 23, they got married. It was the beginning of a love story that would last for 34 years. Through good times, tough times, and everything in between. But life wasn't just about dance and dreams for the couple. Together, they would face many highs and lows that would test their love in every way, building a life of love, dreams, and adventure. Patrick and Lisa shared a deep connection that went far beyond the stage and the screen. They were true partners in every sense of the word. Patrick often said, "I knew she was the smartest chick I'd ever met in my life. For a long time, I didn't feel like I deserved her." Together, they built a life full of adventure. Both were licensed pilots and loved flying together. In fact, Lisa even flew Patrick to his chemotherapy treatments at Stanford University when he was fighting cancer in 2008. Their love of flying wasn't just a hobby. It became a symbol of the trust and teamwork they shared. The couple also loved horseback riding. They lived on a horse ranch near Los Angeles and owned a bigger one in New Mexico. They spent a lot of time raising Arabian horses. One of Patrick's best-known horses was a beautiful chestnut stallion named Taman. Their bond was strong both personally and professionally. Lisa and Patrick appeared together in several movies and TV shows. They even co-wrote and starred in a play that later became the 2003 movie One Last Dance, directed by Lisa herself. Patrick once said about their connection, "We have an unspoken language after all these years." It wasn't just words. It was a lifetime of trust, shared dreams, and silent understanding. But even with so much joy, they had their share of heartbreak too. Lisa suffered a miscarriage during their marriage, and though they had no children, their bond remained unbreakable. Yet beyond love and adventure, Patrick also fought personal battles that few knew about. A journey through faith, addiction, and healing. Patrick Swayze. He always felt like there was something different inside him, something he couldn't fully understand. Growing up in Texas, he found little support for this side of himself. To find peace, Patrick explored many paths. He turned to therapy, transcendental meditation, and EST training. Later, He found comfort in Soka Gakkai Buddhism. Patrick explained in an interview, "I finally found what I was looking for in the Soka Gakkai tradition of Buddhist practice." He said he loved studying different religions and how they mattered to people. Respect for others' beliefs became important to him. But faith wasn't the only thing Patrick needed to find balance. After his father's death, Patrick faced a long and painful battle with alcoholism. He struggled with it for 10 years. Finally, in the 1990 SE, he entered rehab and committed to turning his life around. After recovering, Patrick took a step back from Hollywood. He spent time on his ranches, breeding Arabian horses, and enjoying a quieter life. For Patrick, this time wasn't about hiding, it was about healing. Still, some challenges followed him even outside of Hollywood, especially when he was up in the air, doing something he loved most: flying, life in the skies, and moments of survival. Patrick was a licensed pilot who loved to fly his twin-engine Cessna 414. But in 2000, during a flight from California to Las Vegas with his dogs, something went wrong. The plane had a pressurization problem. Patrick had to make an emergency landing on a dirt road in Prescott Valley, Arizona. During the landing, the planes hit a light pole. Thankfully, Patrick was not hurt, but witnesses later said he looked extremely intoxicated and tried to hide alcohol from the crash site. For a while, the story raised many questions. However, after an investigation, it turned out that the alcohol had been stored outside the cabin, not inside where Patrick could reach it during the flight. The real cause was likely hypoxia, a lack of oxygen caused by carbon monoxide leaks in his heavy smoking. But that wasn't the only flying scare. In December 2006, Patrick and Lisa were flying together to their New Mexico ranch when the plane's right engine failed. Lisa was piloting the plane at the time. She kept her cool and landed the aircraft safely at Van Nuys Airport. After these frightening experiences, the couple decided it was time to switch planes. They sold the Cessna and bought a safer Beechcraft Super King Air in 2007. Through all these challenges, both on land and in the sky, Patrick and Lisa stuck together. Their love didn't weaken with time, it only grew stronger. Speaking of which, while most people remember Lisa Niemi as Patrick Swayze's wife, she built her own strong career. Lisa Niemi, a star in her own right. Lisa was not just standing in Patrick's shadow. She acted in several movies alongside him, like Next of Kin and Steel Dawn. She also starred in her own projects, like She's Having a Baby and the TV series Superforce. Their teamwork didn't stop with acting. Lisa and Patrick wrote a play together called Without a Word. It was a big success, winning 6 Drama Critics Circle Awards. Later, they turned it into a movie called One Last Dance in 2003. Lisa directed it and acted in it with Patrick. This project was very close to their hearts, a perfect example of how deeply they trusted and understood each other creatively. Lisa's talents also took her to Broadway. In 1993, she appeared in Will Rogers' Follies and performed in other shows too. She had a full career of her own, even as she stayed closely connected to Patrick's world. One of the most touching moments in their partnership came toward the end of Patrick's life. While filming his last TV series, The Beast in Chicago, Patrick was undergoing chemotherapy. It was a tough time, but Lisa stepped up and directed one of the episodes. Working together gave them both strength during a difficult period. Lisa later said, "He was fantastic. He had challenges because he was still doing chemo and it wasn't always easy, but he'd suit up and show up. He was always there. He treated me like he was honored to show up on my set." Their relationship wasn't just built on love, it was built on deep respect and true friendship. But soon, their greatest test would come, and it would shake their world like never before. Fighting the toughest battle together. In late 2007, right after filming the pilot for The Beast, Patrick Swayze started feeling pain in his stomach. He didn't think much of it at first, but after some tests, he was diagnosed with stage IV pancreatic cancer in January 2008. At the start, doctors gave some hope. Patrick's physician, Dr. George Fisher, said, "He has a very limited amount of disease and appears to be responding well to treatment." Patrick began chemotherapy and tried a new drug called Vodalanib, hoping it would stop the supply. Through it all, Patrick kept working. He didn't let cancer stop him from living his life. In May 2008, he even made a public appearance at a Lakers game, smiling and waving to fans. Despite rumors from tabloids that his time was short, Patrick kept fighting. In June 2008, he shared good news, saying he was beating cancer and responding well to treatment. When he appeared on the Stand Up to Cancer telecast later that year, he moved the audience deeply. He said, "I dream that the word cure will no longer be followed by the words, 'It's impossible.'" But behind the brave public face, the disease was still a heavy burden. In a famous interview with Barbara Walters in January 2009, Patrick admitted he had a tiny mass in his liver. Still, he stayed positive, saying he was kicking it and doing everything he could to beat the disease. Through every appointment, every hospital stay, every quiet, fearful night, Lisa was there. She flew him to treatments. She stood by him. She never let him fight alone. But sadly, some battles are beyond even the strongest hearts and deepest loves. Saying goodbye to a soulmate. In January 2009, Patrick was hospitalized with pneumonia, a serious complication from his chemotherapy treatments. After a week in the hospital, he returned home to rest with Lisa. By April, doctors had more bad news. The cancer had spread to his liver. Even with this heartbreaking update, Patrick kept pushing forward, working on the beast and spending as much time as he could with Lisa and his family. Patrick had been open about one thing, his lifelong smoking habit. He smoked heavily for 40 years, sometimes as much as 60 cigarettes a day. He later admitted that smoking probably played a role in his cancer. It was a struggle he had never fully overcome, even during treatment. On September 14, 2009, after nearly 20 months of fighting, Patrick Swayze passed away at the age of 57. His family was by his side. Lisa later shared her thoughts about that heartbreaking moment. She said, "I like to think he knew I was there. To have your soulmate leave you, it was definitely overwhelming. But at the same time, I knew he was in a better place. He had used every ounce of that body. It was holding him down and he needed to leave it behind. That was very, very clear to me in the end." Their love had lasted 34 years, built on dancing, flying, laughing, crying, and facing life hand in hand. And even after death, Lisa knew their bond would never be broken. But Lisa's story was far from over. She had one more mission left, to honor Patrick's memory and share their story with the world, keeping Patrick's spirit alive. Shortly after Patrick's passing, Lisa and Patrick's co-written memoir, The Time of My Life, was published. It was released just 2 weeks after his death in September 2009. In the audiobook, Patrick's voice shared these powerful words. "Whenever someone asks me what my legacy is, I say the same thing. I'm not finished yet." The book became a New York Times bestseller, touching hearts all over the world. In 2012, Lisa released her own second memoir, Worth Fighting for Love, Loss, and Moving Forward. It told the emotional story of supporting Patrick through his illness and learning how to move forward without him. Her words gave hope and comfort to anyone who had ever lost someone they loved. But Lisa didn't stop there. She also became a strong advocate for pancreatic cancer awareness. She worked with the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, raising funds and speaking out to support others facing the same brutal disease. In 2017, Lisa decided to honor Patrick's memory in a deeply personal way. She organized an auction of some of Patrick's most meaningful items. This included his famous leather jacket from Dirty Dancing and his wetsuit from Point Break. Lisa explained, "After Patrick passed away, I meticulously packed away all of his clothing items. Every item that I've gone through tells a story, and I want people to know that it says so much about him and who he was." Some of the proceeds from the auction went to support cancer research. For Lisa, it wasn't about saying goodbye, it was about sharing Patrick's spirit with the world. Today, every time someone hears She's Like the Wind or watches Ghost or Dirty Dancing, a piece of Patrick Swayze's heart lives on. A heart that never gave up. A love story that never truly ended. Finding love again after loss. After Patrick Swayze's death, many people wondered if Lisa Nemi would ever open her heart again. For a long time, she focused only on healing and carrying Patrick's memory with her. But life had other plans. Lisa met jeweler Albert DePrisco through friends. After about a year and a half of dating, Albert proposed. They got married in 2014 in Palm Beach, Florida. Even though she found happiness again, Lisa admitted it wasn't an easy decision. She told People magazine, "The love I have for Patrick was never in conflict or competition with my feelings for Albert. That is, until Albert asked me to marry him." At first, Lisa did some deep thinking. She questioned if she was ready to start a new chapter. But Albert showed understanding and patience. Lisa said, "Albert knew I still love Patrick and would always love him, and told me, 'And I know you love me and I love you. How could I not marry this man?'" As time passed, her doubts grew smaller, and her love for Albert grew stronger. It wasn't about replacing Patrick. It was about allowing herself to love again while keeping Patrick's memory alive in her heart. But even as she embraced her new life, Lisa faced unexpected challenges from the outside world, facing criticism with strength. When Lisa remarried, not everyone reacted kindly. Some fans of Patrick Swayze felt betrayed. On the Amy and TJ podcast in April 2024, Lisa opened up about it. She said, "I got a lot of flack. It's like, how dare you? There are some pretty rabid Patrick fans out there who think I'm evil. Just don't like me because I was married to him." The harsh words hurt. But Lisa didn't let them break her spirit. She explained, "You just learn to deal with it and move on." Sometimes she admitted she was tempted to fight back. Lisa said, "I was so tempted so many times to say, 'Hey, girlfriend, stand in my shoes. Tell me about it. Go ahead. Tell me just because I lost my husband that I don't love him anymore." She called the criticism ridiculous. And she's right. Loving again didn't mean forgetting Patrick. It meant honoring life, even after deep loss. Lisa and Patrick had built a love story that lasted over 3 decades. They first met when Lisa was only 15 and Patrick was 19. His mother was her first dance teacher, and Patrick was her first dance partner. Lisa said, "We looked in each other's eyes, and it was like, bang, this incredible magic happened." They stayed dance partners and life partners for 34 years. Their bond was real and lasting, and no amount of outside judgment could erase that. But Lisa's connection to Patrick didn't end with his death. It continued in surprising, powerful ways. Patrick's presence in her life, even years after Patrick's death, Lisa has never felt truly alone. She has often spoken about feeling his spirit around her. In a 2009 roundtable at the Women's Conference, she shared, "I am so grateful for what I had and my connection to him, and part of me believes that I will see him again, and I'm just going to have to go on until then." When the documentary I Am Patrick Swayze came out in 2019, Lisa reflected again. She told people, "I still feel like he's in my life." When you move past the extreme pain of losing someone you love, you actually become close in a different way. For Lisa, Patrick's love never faded. In 2022, during the 35th anniversary of Dirty Dancing, she said to Entertainment, "Tonight, I feel like he's with me every day. But of course, it'd be nice to have him physically in the room. But I tell you what, we had a great ride, and there's so much to be grateful for." These powerful words show that true love doesn't end. It changes, it grows, and it stays part of who you are. Still moving forward with life, even with Patrick's memory close, wasn't without its struggles. Lisa's marriage to Albert DePrisco brought her new happiness, but she never had to let go of the past to embrace the future. Speaking on the Amy and TJ podcast in 2024, Lisa explained how she and Albert discussed her continued love for Patrick before getting married. She said, "I said to Albert, 'Does it bother you that I still love Patrick?' He says, 'No, honey, I know you love him and I know you love me and I'm here to love you now.'" That understanding gave Lisa the peace she needed to say yes. But some Patrick fans still didn't understand. Lisa shared, "There are some pretty rabid Patrick fans out there who think I'm evil. You just learn to deal with it and move on." Lisa even shared a powerful dream she had about Patrick giving her his blessing. She said, "He came up to me and he put his arms around me and I was like, 'I can't marry Albert.' And he just looked at me. What his words came to me were, 'No, I know you love me.' This has nothing to do with it." Through it all, Lisa's heart stayed wide open, full of love for the man she lost and full hope for the life ahead. She stayed true to herself, honoring the past while bravely stepping into her future. In a 2023 interview on Today, she said, "Just because somebody's gone doesn't end your relationship with them. We spent 34 years together and that's always going to be a part of my life and who I am." Her love and memories of Patrick remain a living part of her heart because for love like theirs, some connections are too deep to ever really fade. What is your favorite memory or movie of Patrick Swayze that still stays with you today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from Hollywood's fascinating history. See you next time!